So our goals, we got a bunch of them, is number one, to get us set up with GitHub, work through a couple steps to get our website going. And this is also where we're going to be showing off our projects. So by the end of the year, we have this nice little portfolio with games, animations, lots of neat stuff. The other goal is to to demonstrate more capabilities of processing. Okay, as a reminder, you have your loops worksheet. I made this due Thursday, so you have one asynchronous day, at least one asynchronous day to work on it. I have you block 1, and I also have block 6, and you guys kind of switch off, so it's a little weird. So it's due Thursday. You can check your work on the website. There should be a key posted. And we go back to this idea of functions. In the first part, let's see, you should be seeing my whole desktop, and my recording should pick up on the whole desktop. So we'll have slides, and then any demonstration, I'll try to fit it all in one screen. Let me know if things are too small, in which case I'll attempt to zoom in, hoping that it won't mess up like the current structure. So every line of code, like really when I say line of code, oftentimes I mean like specific functions, right? Like an ellipse, like system.out.println, like what else have we used? Stroke or size, right? Those things are called functions. They have just one job, and sometimes you can combine them. They do different parts, right? So like here, size, 200, 200, and then ellipse, right? And the important part to know is that different functions take in different numbers, right? These things are called arguments or inputs. I talked about this yesterday, so that's some vocabulary for you. And then you can change these numbers, change these arguments to have different results. Right, so this one's going to move it down the page. No. Right. Navigate next. So it's these parentheses that are important. These things you'll see change color inside the editor. And then everything in between, right, you're seeing that some functions take one, like system.out.println, right? It only takes one thing, one input here, hello. Some take 2, some take 3, some can take 4, right? It varies depending on what that function does. Often they're separated by commas. I think most languages do that. Okay, nothing spectacularly new. And so far we've been just putting code into into processing, but really we should be adding in void setup. Okay, do you remember previously there was like public static void main string args, like all that mumbo jumbo, right? So in processing, it's much simpler. You have a setup function, and this code is like your main function. This is where you put all your code in, and when you run it, it should work. As a rule of thumb, for now, right, we're going to put our code here. Later, we're going to learn that the setup code runs just once, and because we work in the realm of animation and processing, there's another function that helps us repeat things. Okay, so there's another example. We've shown you void setup, right? Void is another keyword in Java. It's called a return type. We'll talk about those when we get to coding back. Cool. So there's its friend, the draw function. I'm going to fix my formatting a little bit. Oh gosh. Okay. So then here we have the draw function, void draw. This line of code is a little bit special, as you also put code here, but it repeats itself. So in many cases, it's like a loop, a while loop. Let's make it a bit bigger, 150, and then make this one like a tiny circle. Okay. So as yes. Void draw it keeps looping actually. So you'll see it occur, right? At the moment, since we are repeating like this single ellipse code right here, it's being drawn on top of itself again and again and again. It's when we utilize like a variable to help move it across the page that you'll see that it's going to repeat. So the difference between setup and draw, setup, right? It's code that runs just once. So really, like, I don't need these 2 lines of code in here. And then I draw it like that. Okay. The code inside the draw function really repeats itself again and again. See down here, you see all the hellos appear. So there gives you some evidence. It keeps going and keeps repeating. It fills up that console, the output text. Yeah, animations is kind of harder to see, and we're going to make it a bit more obvious. Good question. So let me look through the slides again. Do we have an example of that? No, we talk about GitHub first. So it looks like we'll continue the nuances of draw in a bit. We're gonna, so like you have the skeleton of where you need to place your code, so then let's get our website working. So like here, I got this weird looking program. I'm gonna go to save up here. Let's give this a better name than just sketch with the date. Let's call this void or setup and draw demo. Okay, and then maybe the date is useful, 09/01/20, block 6. It saves inside a processing folder. That part is important. Okay, and you notice the file name that's displayed up here got changed. And if you look inside my processing folder in documents, is it there? Let's see. Yeah, inside this processing folder, we have, there's my file. And it's these 2 names that are important. These 2 names got to match. And if you just save it from default, say like do what I did, file save, then it should match up. All right, next. That's what this slide pointed out, great. And then we go to GitHub. Oh, some other things. Open recent. Let's say that we're a couple weeks into the course and you want to go back to your previous programs to refer to like some old ideas, then you would go here. Open recent is super useful. If you go to open, it should bring up that processing folder. Maybe it's a little bit harder to navigate here. What happened? Yeah, sketch name has been modified. Sketch can only consist of ASCII characters. Oh, so you notice when I typed out my name, I used space, right? I did setup space and space draw demo. That's another. So you notice inside the actual file, it made underscores. So you may want to like just skip that step and just do underscores instead of spaces while you go to like file and save. I'm all over the place. So your lightning assignment, this has been posted. I'm going to hold your hand through these first couple steps, so do follow along. If you've already done so, then cool, chill out. You can preview the drawing slides that are later in this PowerPoint. Go. So what we're going to work through is called a workflow, and that is how we get our programs done. We first like get our starter code, we add in our new code, and then we make sure it's working. And when it's all pretty and nice, we're going to post it onto the into our own website. Okay, that process is called a workflow, and we have to use a couple tools to help us with that. The first one being GitHub. That's the place that hosts our files and also gives us our website. So I'll click here. I think I'm already at github.join. Oh gosh, I want my PowerPoint to stay there. Move away Zoom. So we'll go here. You'll use your email. I borrowed a student's from my regs so I can demonstrate least and most fave. Okay, then the student's email looks like this. Then You make one. I would uncheck this box because I don't like that spam, and even more so because I'm borrowing something's account. Spiral Galaxy. Cool. Then we create. And what's nice is when you decide to choose like to study computer science later, the GitHub platform and Git more generally is a skill you will always need, right? In college, into your software development career. So it's nice that we've integrated it into this introductory course. Okay, I'm going to ignore all those options and just complete the setup. Oh, great. Now I have to sign in and verify. Do I need to? I think I do. I'm going to see how, well, let's be safe. Let us verify. I need to sign in. So it gives some time for people to catch up. We'll look on the next slide. I have to sign in. You should have a free account. If you want to explore more capabilities, they have like a student discount, which unlocks the paid features or subscription-based features for it. It may take a couple days. usd.edu. But I think it's worth it. I think they give you a year, and as long as you're a student, it's free. Yeah, the origin is in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, and what's weird is y grows positively downwards. We're used to y being negative going down, but actually it's positive for computer graphics. Yep. So after some practice, when you draw more shapes, then you will. Oh gosh, I'm lost in my email. I thought I just signed in. The heck. All right, I'm confused. So I thought I just signed in and verified. It looks like I may not. Let's see. Apologies. So if you have other questions, do ask. Weird. Keeps giving me an error. If you already have a GitHub account, if you already have a GitHub account, I think you can use it because how you turn in assignments is like giving me your GitHub like website link. If you're able to do that, then you're fine. There's no special like classroom and whatnot that I'm going to make tied to your email. Good question. Okay, great. So I verified myself. Now I can go and fork the Lightning repo. So in this one, we'll have to go to Google Classroom. There is a link there. You'll get to see my mess of all the googly things that I'm a part of. Okay, hopefully you've also verified your email like I did. We're block 6. So as we're here, you'll go to classwork. You'll find the Lightning assignment. I have to do a bit more organization. And then right here at the top, so I kind of missed it, right? So at the top and also linked down here is the Lightning assignment, right? And you'll see the steps. So it says fork this repository. That's what we'll click on. For convenience, can I just paste this in the chat? So if you're following along, the chat link should be there, right? I think it's the same. This one just highlights the README. Okay, and when I say fork, right, GitHub has its own vocabulary, its own lingo. Fork just means to make a copy. That's just like a Google Doc that we're all used to. Repo is short for like a folder. That's a repository. It's a place where files live. Think about that like as a folder in your Google Drive. So at the top, where is it? things have shrunk, so then my stuff is kind of organized differently. Where's the fork button? Usually it's in the top right hand corner, but now it's like in a different place. Anyone see it? Here, here. Alright, let's make it bigger. Fork. Okay, so in my window it's up here. Upper right hand corner next to the watch and star. Because I made my window shorter, I don't know where the heck it went. That's what we'll click on. Cool, we see this animation. To confirm that everything was there, we should see that we have the lightning, we should have a bunch of different files, and most importantly, it's tied now to our username. Cool, we've done the forking step. Nice. The slides, it points out those exact ideas. And now it gets a bit more complicated. So when we were in school, you would have a bit more complicated workflow, but like for now, it's just like copy and paste. Inside the repository, so after you forked it, there is something called lightning.pde. That's what you're gonna copy and paste from. Right now it has some starter code for you. When you're finished, you'll like copy your stuff from processing and paste it back into here. And you should see some things run. Let's see, let's open a new one. Close the old one, paste this code. While I'm here, I'm gonna save, call it lightning. Cool. So far so good? Do I need to repeat anything? Were you all able to follow along? I think the slides with pictures really helps. Alright, cool. So let's just like add in our favorite ellipse function. Ellipse. Make it at 100, 100, 50, 50. Just to have a line of code, right? We've changed some things. Let's say we finished our assignment. We've saved it. Ran it. Cool, there's a circle. So let's say we want to move this back. Let's try to get this working over here. Let's see, is this the original? Nope, this is Mr. Simon, so I gotta close that. Here, right? So this is mine, right? Last and most faith. So when I click on this PDE file, like previously I copied from it, now I want to make edits. So I need to click on the pencil icon. I have some changes, right? I was going to override everything. Really, it's just this one line I added in here. And now we're going to publish it to GitHub, right? We're going to make it public to the website that we will soon create. So down here, we press commit. We should see that line of code now registered in our lightning.pde file. And here's the complicated part. GitHub pages. This is what allows our website to be visible, and it might take a minute or two. So GitHub pages and settings. So make my screen bigger, right? Their settings. Now I go to next part. Next keyword is branch master. Okay, am I there? GitHub pages, where is it? Did I miss it? Do you all see it? Where'd it go? So there is a checkbox we have to enable for our websites to be viewable. Oh. Okay. Is it tied to my account? Shoot. All right, now I'm lost. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think so. It's likely that I will give you another week, but let's see how far I get in like end of this class in the next 5 minutes, and then there's also one more day. So it's noted, right? At this rate, it's likely you'll get an extension. Yeah, I'll just make it public now. So I can't find the GitHub pages setting. Scroll down in options. Thank you. Ah, okay. Here it is. Okay, so thank you. So settings, scroll down, there's a bunch more options. What we need is, uh, here, GitHub pages. Select master, root, save. I think you'll have to repeat this process with every new assignment that we have in order to enable the website to work. Now this part, as we scroll back down to here, right, this thing is now the website that you'll turn into like me. You notice whatever code you added, it's there. So you can imagine that's how student made their cool, neat little animation. Sometimes it takes a while. Go back. Yeah, the site, the link is at GitHub pages. You'll notice this part right here. It's going to be your username.github.io, and then whatever you call your repository, that's the like slash whatever it is. Cool. Index.html, we have to go back to our repository. That's the main thing that we forked. So right here, we can add and edit a couple things to make our website look a bit better. I won't go in detail on like what a lot of these things are, but like click the pencil. Here's lightning. Replace headline, lightning. Footer, it's like made by Mr. Chan. You can write whatever you want. The school appropriate commit changes. So HTML files, I won't go into details on how it works. The important part is the PDE file and updating that. So I've committed. Commit is like save. And now when we go to our website, what was it? Last and most fave.github.io/lightning. After a little while, this part will update, headline and footer. So I've already mentioned it. It's like this link that in all your later assignments, this is what you're going to turn into like Google Classroom. So for Lightning, once this is updated to your liking with the cool animation, that's what you'll turn in. I got like a couple more minutes. Cool. We good? Did you get your website working too to some extent? Yeah, so Igor asked about this slide earlier, and this is why. Especially for Windows machines, you have to maintain like this file structure. And if you want a shortcut on your desktop, then don't drag it out, make a shortcut. Warnings about file names. The GitHub repo, those things are the way they are for a reason, so that your website works like without you having to make big changes. Do I need to talk about this? Let's skip it for now. Cool. So these things you already know about. Do use to that. Turn in, it's helpful for me. If you click turn in, it just shows me that you're ready for it to be graded. But after the deadline, whether you turned it in or not, then I will just grade whatever's there. Okay, so don't be surprised if you see 1 out of 4, everything's revisable. Okay, now, I don't think, well, we got 5 minutes, right? So at this point, I'm going to try and fiddle and work through some of these patterns, okay? And then kind of talk through what else is to come. If you have questions on setting up your website, do ask them. And it looks like we'll save the text and all these other drawing functions for Thursday for you guys, you all. But for those that want to get a head start, slide 59, if you click on this, this is all the functions that are present in processing. And what will be interesting for you is like learning how line works, learning more things about ellipse, like you click on it. They have some neat examples. You can start by just copying and pasting some of these lines, changing the numbers, like posting things to your website once you created something that looks pretty cool, to get a head start before I lecture at you about other drawing functions, like common ones. I would have this bookmarked because we're going to use it so frequently. Okay, so let's go back. Looks like it was very ambitious, so probably won't have time for this. So I got 4 minutes. What do you all want to do? Want me to talk through using a loop? It's building on what you did for your loop worksheet. Would you rather me talk through a couple more drawing functions? Sure. All right, so I won't need this tab as much now, but I will need my processing again. I'll open up my sketch from before. I'll close this one. Okay. And so, as I'm thinking about, let's say which one looks kind of complicated. Let's do the middle one, right? It's a 3x3 box. So I'll start with the starter code, and then we'll modify things from there. Here's my counter. While that variable y is less than 76 should look familiar, parentheses or squiggly braces, type in ellipse, spell it right, use my variable, 25, 25, grow by 25. That worked? Did I type everything out? I think there's an auto formatting feature in this editor. I forgot the shortcut for it. Auto format. For Macs is Command T, and it fixes the spacing for you, so it looks pretty. We run, see that everything's working, cool. There's 3 circles going down the screen. Now I have to be a bit more clever, right? I gotta repeat this 3 more times. So one way to do it is, okay, if I already got the moving down pattern, I just need a circle pattern on the left and the right. So for me, as I see it, and there's many ways to accomplish this, even with loops and loops if you want to go there, is I will go here and add one to the left. Why is it left? It's 25 pixels left of my center one, and I'll keep it in the middle. That's my thought process. I made 1 line of code. I'm going to convince myself that it is working by clicking the run button, and it's like, cool, that confirms what I had in my head. And if it doesn't match, then you got to go back and edit. That's incremental development. You want to test small changes to your code, because if you type a lot, and then later, right, you don't know which exact line caused that bug or caused that unintentional side effect. Ta-da! I got the middle pattern. So if we want to do the concentric one, notice the centers stay the same, but the size changes, yeah? So if I, this growing part would stay the same, but now I would change the next two arguments. These things would probably be like YY or something, because that's what's growing. And if you get a circle that is like just white because you're going small to big, right? It's because the circles are being layered on top of one another. You may want to start from bottom, like big radius, and then shrinking it. Like think about coming upwards, right? They're stacked on top of one another, so you want the small one on the top. All right, that's it for today's class. The demo took a lot longer than I expected, sorry. Block 1's video, if you're interested, will likely talk more about the drawing functions for your asynchronous class. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow, roughly at block 6 time, okay? You're all formally dismissed. You're welcome to stay if you have questions. I have a bit of time. Yep. See ya. Take care, take care. Bye. Drink lots of water, eat lunch.